What's up, squad? Today I'm here with Coach Greg Gatz, Director of Sports Performance for Olympic Sports. Explain what that long title means.
Basically, we at UNC have 28 varsity sports that we train here. This facility will hold 25 of those sports, anywhere from swimming, gymnastics, soccer, field sports, court sports, aquatics, that train out of this site here. So kind of the term Olympic came from years ago when a lot of these athletes will end up trying to get themselves into the Olympic Games.
So obviously I'm here for the illustrious women's soccer program. What are some of the things that they kind of specialize in? And obviously we'll be going through a workout today. Could you just give me an outline of what we're going to go through?
Yeah, I mean, obviously for soccer, it's an aerobic, anaerobic sport, so it's a combination of speed and endurance. They play for 90 minutes, so they have to do explosive movements for 90 minutes. Not all of them are doing explosive all the time, but there's those peaks and valleys of they need that speed, but they need to be able to do it at the last minute of the match, possibly to perform well and be winners. So our workout kind of mimic both speed, strength, power, and endurance.
Well, I'm ready to lock in, Coach.
You ready to go?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, so we'll start with our warm-up. So a lot of it's muscle coordination, just kind of getting the brain ready to fire for some more explosive stuff or more higher intensity stuff as the workout progresses. So this first one is a hurdle mobility. We're going to use this line of hurdles here, and we're just going to walk this or march down this using a nice tall posture. I put their hands on their head so that we keep the torso from collapsing, staying low, and then we're just going to kind of work through our hips. So this action here, as I stay in that tall posture. So the next variation, we're going to face the field there. Same position with the hands. Go right down the middle, so you're going to step sideways with your right leg coming up first, followed by the other one, and then stance.
I'm already starting to heat up, Coach.
Yeah, you feel good. All right, so next piece, let's grab that med ball. We'll do some med ball series here with some rotations and chops and stuff like that. So again, it's top to bottom. We're thinking toenails to fingernails. So let's take a wide stance. Yep. This is called a wood chopper. So we're going to come up here, and then we're going to flex at the hips, come down towards the floor, and then open up back again. So just going to chop like you're chopping wood here. And I like to tell the athletes as they come up, extend the hips through so you're stretching through that hip flexor there. Good. Next variation, go from one foot, doesn't matter which one. We're going to start down here. We're going to slide that ball like we're going to throw it over our shoulder and rotate our hips. So it's going to be this kind of action. And this is, again, top to bottom, understanding how to balance themselves in different positions. And we're moving through some rotating patterns here. All right, that's good. Next one will be called a big circle. So it starts overhead. We're gonna go down either right or left. Bring that ball top of your shoelaces and rotate into a big loop at the top.
What would you say is the most important muscle group to develop for soccer?
I mean, I don't know if it would be one specific. I think in general, from the waist down, they need to be well trained, both conditioned and strength, power, not only stay healthy, but to be able to perform pretty well on the field. You know, that lower half is where they earn their money. We'll do some other variations there, but let's go ahead through a last series that we do, we call a lunge and reach series. And so this is just some mini band work. Keep the tension on the band. So I don't want that to come in as I'm walking. We're just gonna walk some mini band walks, just gonna heel toe, keeping that tension the whole way. Let's go 5 yards just to kind of feel it. Straight down the track, yep. Heel toe, yep. That's it, keep the tension in the middle and relax, good. All right, let's try a couple more, so let's face that way. You're gonna push from your right foot, that's our back leg. I wanna load that back foot and push that out and step and try to keep the tension. So don't let your feet come back together all the way, just kind of hold that posture, yep. And we're trying to eliminate any kind of hip hike. We just wanna stay neutral with the hips, yep. And then the last one we'll kind of do, we got multiple sets of these too, but we'll step out in a 45, gather, and you'll notice right away the kids that are weaker, their foot will turn because they can't hold that posture or that stability. Their foot will slide because they can't, pick up. Yeah, so you'll know right away who's got a little bit of weakness there. And so it's a good little evaluator at the same time too. So that's good on that. Let's do this. Go ahead and sit down on the floor with that on. And let's put it around both feet. And then go ahead and lay back, arms out to the side. And we're gonna bring one knee up toward the chest without getting too close to the other foot, and then switch. So just gonna be kind of like a running action, keeping that other foot off the ground. Good. We talk about extending that straight leg as much as you can. We want to get through the full range of motion. So that's one we'll do on the ground. We'll do these in practice as well. And let's go ahead and pull that up to just below your knee. Lay back again, arms out, feet flat this time. We're going to press the feet into the ground, lift our hips, And then we're gonna bring the band, knees out with a band, come back in, and then drop down. Let's do 5 of those. As you open up, try to keep the hips neutral and relax. Good. Okay, that's good. So again, 3 variations of some of the stuff we'll do. Usually our warm-up will take anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes. But again, it's just a prep going into some more advanced or more higher intensity work. So a couple of things we'll do off of our dynamic stretch. So we're gonna do what we call an A march. So a nice tall A position is gonna be like this. And we're just gonna march from there. So I'm just gonna start my arms here and then we're just gonna march. When I march, I don't wanna lean back. So I'm not a band leader. I wanna stay nice and tall, bring my foot down just in front of the other foot. Okay, so it's just gonna be this kind of action, nice and relaxed, doesn't have to be super high. And we're just gonna take that a few yards. Okay, so swing it around. So from that position, we'll increase the level of intensity by going into an A skip.
Okay.
So now the same thing, I'll start here. You can march a couple steps and then we're just kind of a little more dynamic with the hips. And then the last part that you can start there is to take it into a running position. So we marched, we skipped, and now we're going to double time it. We can also grab that belt, put that on, and do a little bit of resistance starts. So start right here in a split position. So whatever foot you want, like I was talking about.
Yep.
And then get your arms set. So if that leg's forward, that's back. Yeah, you should feel like your weight is shifted to the front of your feet. So I tell the athletes, not a lunge. You want to kind of ball your hips up so that you're compacted to be able to explode out of that like a cannon. Push, 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 push. Okay. So this exercise is a trap bar, which is that piece that we're standing inside there. A little bit of resistance. I don't load this up too soon. So I want to be with my feet underneath my hips. So not too narrow, not too wide.
Yep.
Drop down and get the grip on the bar, stand all the way up first. Okay, so there's our starting position. From there, you're just gonna quickly flex the hips, push and force in the ground, and then redirect that to a vertical jump. Moving on to a lower exercise, I'll show this first. So we're just using kettlebells to hold the handles here. This is just what we call a split squat. So I'm gonna put one leg and I wanna elevate the front foot just so I can get some depth in my squat. The weight's on both hands here, obviously, and I'm still gonna bring my knee towards the front of my foot while I keep that heel down and load that front leg. So I'm transitioning or transferring the weight to the front foot. Then I'm gonna push back to a lockout position. So my back leg is just kind of like a kickstand to hold a balanced position. Sit down on the floor facing me. Get into a hollow position, what we call a hollow position. So what I'm talking about is arms will be extended overhead, legs will be extended overhead, and it's gonna be like kind of like this formation so that we're hollowing out our core down the center. We'll go 15, 20-second intervals, maybe 3 or 4 sets of that. So once they can prove to me that they can handle that, then we'll move to the next progression of this. Again, progression is key. Smaller steps, build it, make them prove to you that they can handle additional training or advanced training, and you'll be better off, you'll be safer. Hopefully the injuries will stay down from that, and they'll get stronger. Top to bottom, we're trying to keep those patterns where we start in January and we end up in August ready to go.
Hi guys, so I'm here with Coach Damon Nahas from UNC Women's Soccer. How are you?
Very good. You?
I'm great. The weather's perfect. The birds are chirping.
Came on a good day.
You've had some success pretty earlier in your second year, won a natty in your first year, but been around the program for a little bit of time. Just kind of tell me, what is UNC Women's Soccer?
This is my 9th year, so my 9th year is the year that I took over the program, if you want to say. I've been fortunate to be a part of the program, you know, with Anson, who built the program 40 some odd years ago. You know, tradition is a huge part of here. Excellence, standards are so high here. And it was established back in the early days from all the alum that came through here. It's well documented in the championships that have been won here.
In my research, I saw the term that I'd never heard before, the competitive cauldron?
Cauldron.
Thank you. Define what that is.
Yeah, so Anson did it a long time ago. I mean, the sport is about opinion, right? So a coach decides whether someone plays, doesn't play. And what he wanted to do is every single day is give them data, give them information. So what he did is he created and it's evolved over time, and we'll continue to adjust it based on what we think is most effective nowadays. But basically in various different categories, up to 20 some odd categories on a daily basis, we track it. You know, whether it's wins and losses, whether it's exercises, finishing, or whatever it is. And we have, you know, an analytics team that collects a lot of the data. And you put it together and, you know, they receive information on a daily basis on how they did on that day. and they can kind of see where they are within the team with respect to that exercise. It's really meant to drive performance. And this is one of the hardest sports to win in, especially with the competition and how parity is all out there. So we don't take that for granted. We're just coming every day to try and be better. And I hope that we can continue to do that.
All right, squad, so I'm here with Tessa De La Rose, one of 2 seniors
Oh yeah.
on the team. How was that?
It's been a lot of fun. It's the off season, so a little bit more fluidity, a little bit more fun to have since the fall is just so serious and much more intense. So building back up to the spring is very important just to get everyone's legs, everyone's mentality back underneath them, especially coming off of the national championship. That's such a high. Coming back down and finding the motivation again to continue to get back at it is something that we're trying to cultivate right now.
Yeah, how does training, do you feel training kind of changes throughout the season?
For the fall, it's very, very uniform, very structured because we're playing usually 2 times a week. So we usually know what we need to do leading up to that point. So it's a little bit more of a taper generally in the fall, but now that we're in the spring, we have a lot more freedom to mix it up, a lot of variation. We do a lot more technical things just to keep everyone's touches clean and underneath them. And then we also do a lot more playing since we have to supplement since we don't have games week in and week out.
And last question, so I got in the gym earlier, I was working out, did some of your stuff. What do you feel from the gym really translated to the field?
I think we put a lot of emphasis on speed and explosiveness.
Yeah.
We have a very fast team naturally, but just enhancing that from the entire roster is really important because speed kills in this game. So just making sure that we're really focusing on explosive lift, moving weight fast, and that's been our focus for a long time. And also in the spring is more of like strength work, but it's all about the speed aspect, and that I think has really translated big for us on the field.
All right, so Elena Cantu, what's your title?
I'm kind of like a sports performance coach / sports science, a little bit of everything.
Sure. How do you guys use sports science to kind of translate to what happens on the field?
So we track everything, right? We do it in 2 different ways. One is just like load management, return to play, making sure we're not hitting them too hard before a game, but also making sure that we are training them hard, like a couple days before a game. So we keep that like fitness, conditioning throughout the season, kind of like almost building throughout. But we also use it as return to play load management tool. So we use it for performance, but also for just like making sure they stay healthy throughout the season.
So I noticed that one of the tools you guys use is player data. Could you just walk me through what it's like working with them and also how that system kind of works?
Yeah, so it's like a GPS puck with their name and their number, so it's individual on a sports bra, and they use it for every practice and every like conditioning run. If they have like individual workouts, they would wear it too. Player data just keeps everything super basic, which is the most important thing. They don't overcomplicate things. You can look at them live in training. I have an iPad with me at all times and I can track what's happening out there. We had a really good player coming back from an ACL injury, and we were not sure if she was gonna be able to play at all last season. At some point, we even thought about maybe redshirting would be best just because of the stage she was at. She couldn't be on live play at one point, so we just used player data to keep her load during training the same way as the rest of the team. Once she was able to get with the team, it was not about building fitness or anything else. It was just about getting used to the team environment. She ended up playing 10 games in the season, playing in the national championship final. And then we used player data just to monitor what she was doing on the field. So if at any point it was getting too transitional, too risky for her to be out there, we would have pulled her out for sure. But she was amazing, and she's now one of our best players. She's looking amazing.
UNC women's soccer workout complete. Let us know in the comments where we should go next.